Their first move against us was so small, such an infinitesimal blip against the blaring background noise of life. I didn't register it as anything significant. It came in the form of a text from my wife, Alison, and it arrived on my phone at 3:28, one Wednesday afternoon. Hey, sorry forgot to tell you kids have doctor appointment this p.m., picking them up soon. If I had any reaction to this unexpected disruption, it was only mild disappointment. Wednesday was Swim with Dad, a weekly ritual revered enough in our family to deserve capitalization. The twins and I had been partaking in it regularly for the past 3 years or so. While it had started as a predictable disaster, more the avoidance of drowning than actual swimming, it had since evolved into something far more pleasurable. Now age 6, Sam and Emma had become ardent water rats. For the 45 minutes we usually lasted, until one of them got that chatter in the teeth that told me they were done, all we did was enjoy one another. We splashed around, we raced from one end of the pool to the other. We played water games of our own invention, like the much-beloved baby hippo. There's something about having genuine fun with your kids that's good for the soul in a way nothing else is, even if you're forever stuck in the role of Mama Hippo. I looked forward to it in the same way I cherished all the weekly rites that had come to define our family's little universe. Friday, for example, was Board Game-a-Palooza. Sunday was Pancake Day. Monday was Hats and Dancing, which involved, well, dancing, with hats on. And maybe none of this sounds terribly sexy. Certainly you wouldn't want to slap it across a Cosmo cover, "How to Give Your Man the Best Pancake Day of His Life." But I have come to believe a good routine is the bedrock of a happy family, and therefore a happy marriage, and therefore a happy life. So I was miffed that Wednesday afternoon when the enjoyment of our little routine was taken away from me. One of the benefits of being a judge is having a certain amount of say-so over my own schedule. My staff knows that no matter what crisis of justice may be visiting us on a Wednesday afternoon, the Honorable Scott A. Sampson will be leaving his chambers at 4 o'clock to pick up his kids from after-school care so he can take them to the YMCA pool. I thought about going anyway and swimming some laps. Doughy 44-year-old white men with sedentary jobs ought not pass up opportunities for exercise. But the more I thought about it, being there without Sam and Emma felt wrong. I went home instead. For the past 4 years, we've lived in an old farmhouse along the York River we call the farm, because we're creative that way. It's in a rural part of the Virginia Tidewater known as the Middle Peninsula, in an unincorporated section of Gloucester County, about 3 hours south of D.C., and many steps off the beaten path. How we ended up there is a story that starts in Washington, where I was the go-to policy guy for an influential U.S. senator. It continues with an incident, might as well refer to it as the incident, also capitalized, that landed me in a hospital bed, which tends to encourage the rethinking of one's priorities. It ends with my appointment as a federal judge, sitting in Norfolk, in the Eastern District of Virginia. It was not necessarily what I had envisioned for myself when I first picked up Congressional Quarterly as a 6th grader. Nor was it your conventional put-out-to-political pasture assignment. From a workload standpoint, federal judges tend to be like ducks. There's more going on under the surface than anyone quite realizes. But it was certainly better than where the incident might have ended for me, which was the morgue. So, I would have told you, all things considered, I had it pretty damn good, with my 2 healthy kids, my loving wife, my challenging but rewarding job, my happy routine. Or at least, that's what I would have said until 5:52 p.m. that Wednesday. That's when Alison arrived home. Alone. I had been in the kitchen cutting fruit for the twins' next-day lunches. Alison was emitting her usual coming-home sounds, opening the door, putting down her bag, shuffling through the mail. Every day from 9 to 5:30, she works with children who have intellectual disabilities that are so severe their local school systems lacked the ability to accommodate their needs. It is, from my perspective, grueling work that would absolutely wipe me out. Yet she almost always comes home in a good mood. Alison is a veritable force of nurture. We'd been together since our sophomore year of college. I fell in love with her because she was beautiful, and yet also found it endearing that I could name all 435 members of Congress, along with the states they represented and their party affiliations. If you're a guy like me and you find a woman like that, you hang on to her for all you're worth. "Hey, love," I called out. "Hey, hun," she answered. What I didn't hear, I immediately realized, were the twins. A 6-year-old human is a noisy animal. 2 6-year-olds even more so. Sam and Emma typically enter stomping and banging, chattering and humming, creating their own little unself-conscious cacophony. The only thing more conspicuous than the racket they make is the absence of it. I dried my apple-damp hands on a towel and walked down the hallway to the foyer so I could investigate. Alison was there, her head bent toward a bill she had opened. "Where are the kids?" I asked. She looked up from the bill, perplexed. "What do you mean? It's Wednesday." "I know, but you sent me a text." "What text?" "About the doctor," I said, digging into my pocket so she could read it. "It's right here." Without bothering to look, she said, "I didn't send you any texts about any doctors." I suddenly knew what it must be like to sit on a beach when all the water mysteriously rushes away, as happens just before a tsunami. You simply can't imagine the size of the thing that's about to hit you.